Sometimes a gun is added to Call of Duty and the entire community agrees upon one thing, which doesn't happen very often. It was a mistake. Sometimes new guns are way too powerful. Other times new guns don't even work properly, and even other times you could just go throw them in the trash. Today, we're going to be looking at air guns. That's right, ERROR. Air guns from Call of Duty history that they were just one big mistake in one way or another. Drop a like, and let's start off with the Sykov in Modern Warfare 2019. It was an updated version of the Makarov pistol, which is pretty cool. It was added to Modern Warfare late 2020 as part of a surprise content patch, and it quickly broke the game because of the attachments. Now, the base version of this weapon, standard. It's your standard handgun. The Gunsmith, though, could turn into the best secondary in the game with things like an 80-round drum mag. Yeah, that makes sense. A full auto mod, let's go, and akimbo firing options. Now, you mix all those things together, and you had arguably the most ridiculous machine pistol since the FMG9s from Modern Warfare 3, and that is elite company, my friends. The Sykovs also quickly took over Warzone because of the insane time to kill and the fact you could run Ghost as your red perk while you were running them. Raven Software and Infinity Ward both they nerfed the Sykov pistols in different ways, but man, it was an air. It was a game-breaking air of a weapon when it was introduced. Next up is the S6 Stingray in Black Ops 4. Now, this DLC tactical rifle was widely believed to be mid-tier without the operator mod attached, but if you put the operator mod on, it quickly became game-breaking. And Treyarch had to step in pretty quickly to bring it right back down to earth. The S6 Stingray had a mod that would give it explosive bullets, and since it was a 2-round burst weapon, you already know where this is going. The blast radius and the damage of the explosive bullets was insane and capable of insta-killing pretty much anyone and anything, even if you hit them in the toe, or in some cases, you didn't even have to hit them. They were nerfed into the dirt after a while, and the Stingray plummeted down the tier list. But the original version, it was an air. It was busted. There's no question about it. At number 8, the XMC in Black Ops 3. Now, the MSMC was a huge fan favorite SMG back in the Black Ops 2 days, so it was an obvious choice for Treyarch to bring back in the sequel. Well, things didn't start well for the XMC because not only was it locked behind the now hated supply drop system, meaning there was less than a 1% chance of you getting your hands on it, it was completely overpowered, quickly climbing the tier list and sitting at the top for over a full month. It had an incredible 3-shot kill range and a very forgiving rate of fire, which made it one of the deadliest guns in the game by a landslide. It also had the mobility of an SMG, which made it great for aggressive playstyles, but since it had the range of a rifle, anybody could pick it up and drop 50 kills with it. It was broken, it was an air, it was added to the game, and Treyarch thankfully nerfed it after a few weeks, although this was after people spent hundreds or thousands of dollars on supply drops trying to get their hands on it before it was patched. I wonder if that was intentional. I wonder if they saw the error of their ways. At number 7, the Bruen MK9 in Warzone. An LMG that didn't seem very special at first when it was added to Warzone in Season 3. It had a solid time to kill, it had some interesting attachments, but it only took a few weeks for the geniuses to figure this one out. I mean, but the 60-round mag build was perfected, and it was shown off by streamers, and then all bets were off. The time to kill was incredible. There was barely any recoil. Plus, despite being an LMG and having the power to back that up, there were a handful of attachments that could make it as quick as an assault rifle, which made it easily the best primary weapon in the game for a long period of time. The Bruen with 60-round mag was totally busted, and someone at Raven probably should have noticed that was a huge error and a problem before it was added to the game. I mean, an LMG with the handling of an assault rifle. That should have raised at least one red flag during testing, but apparently it didn't. Speaking of red flags, the AS Val in Modern Warfare. Now, this was added to the game as part of Season 6. Eventually became a fan favorite rifle, served as one of the pub stomping weapons of choice thanks to the time to kill and the built-in suppressor. But it only earned its positive reputation a few weeks after it was added to the game because on launch day, it was busted. There was a bug with one of the attachments on the Val that would make it ignore all walls and cover pieces. Who would have thought, right? Meaning you could wallbang across the entire map without losing any damage along the way. Now, people would take the AS Val into hardcore modes, they'd throw snapshot grenades across the map, and then they would just spray away for free kills. It didn't matter. It was busted when it came out, and the patch version was arguably still pretty overpowered, but the original version, one big air. Now we get into the top 5. The GRAW 556 in Warzone. This was one of the first weapons ever added to Modern Warfare's DLC, and it didn't cause problems at first. but there was a very long period of time where it was far and away the best primary weapon in Warzone because there was no recoil on it. I mean, it had amazing range drop-off as well. Now, I'm not sure if the Grau 5.56 was just never tested for Battle Royale, but it was bad. It was good, which made it bad. The fire rate and the damage per shot was similar to the M4, but with much cleaner iron sights and, like I said, no recoil. It quickly jumped to the top spot in the assault rifle category, and it took way too long for this thing to be patched out. The assault rifle managed to completely kill the sniping scene in Warzone 1 because that was much better from long range than a sniper rifle. That should simply never happen. At number 4, the MAC-10 in Warzone. Now, when Black Ops Cold War first launched, all the multiplayer weapons were added to Warzone as part of this massive content update. However, Black Ops Cold War had a very hectic and rushed development cycle, and these were the days when Warzone 1 was just starting to expand upon its original version. According to insiders, Warzone 1 was never supposed to get any kind of massive content update like this, and Raven Software had to cut a lot of corners in order to get it ready to launch in late 2020. Now, many of the Black Ops Cold War guns were broken in Warzone due to Raven not having the proper time to test them, and one of the original game breakers was the MAC-10 SMG. It was introduced in Season 1 of Black Ops Cold War, and once it was brought into Warzone, well, it's all you saw. The time to kill was insane. The lack of recoil made it a monster in any situation. I think it's safe to say this was definitely an air weapon. At number 3, the Diamatti in Warzone. Like I said before, a lot of the early Black Ops Cold War guns were completely broken in Warzone, and the Diamattis, they were some of the worst. 3-round burst pistol, ridiculous damage per shot for some reason, making it arguably better than any of the primary weapons. On top of all that, you could load 30 rounds into each pistol for a total of 60 and use them in akimbo form to give yourself one of the most absurd time to kills in COD history. And that was all without overkill. It allowed you to throw Ghost on your custom classes and stay completely off the radar. The Diamatti pistol was heavily nerfed in Warzone a couple times, but the first few weeks of its dominance, they were insane. If you were there, you are shaking your head and you're giving me a thumbs up. At number 2, the Proteus in Infinite Warfare, the infamous aimbot sniper. The Proteus was a DLC weapon added to Infinite Warfare a few months after the game launched, and not many people were actually paying attention to the game, but everybody was talking about this gun. It was a shotgun sniper hybrid that had some decent potential on its own, but for the first day or so it was in the game, it had this weird error on it, or bug, that would give it 100% accuracy if you hip fired it when you were facing the enemy. You didn't even have to be aiming at the target as long as they were in front of you. They would get hit by your shot, and in hardcore modes, they were gone. They carried enough damage to insta-kill people across the map. Quite literally, had a built-in aimbot where you could run around hardcore mode, spray the right trigger, get multi-kills, and people didn't even see you. I have no clue how it got through testing because that should have been caught immediately. And at number 1 today, I've got to give it to the DMR-14 in Warzone. The Proteus may have had an aimbot built in, but I think the DMR being released in Warzone in the state it was an even bigger error. In fact, I think it's the most OP weapon in any Battle Royale game ever released, and since the update went live right before the developers went on vacation, it completely took over Warzone for 2 months. Semi-auto rifle could kill across the map 2 to 3 bullets, and since it had amazing bullet velocity with the right attachments and no recoil, it was the best. It completely invalidated snipers, and LMGs, and assault rifles, all at once, honestly, and the fact that it was so dominant for so long is simply unacceptable in a game as big as COD. Now, in my opinion, the DMR-14 is the biggest air gun in COD history. You can disagree with me if you want, but if you experience this thing firsthand, you probably are okay with me putting it at the top spot. Let me know one gun that didn't make the list, and I'll see you soon.